going on, YouTube? I'm back again on the K5 build, and as you can see here, the interior is finished, but that tan I got came out more glossy than satin, so then we are going to weather this truck, so I figured I'd start with the interior. It's usually pretty easy. It's been a while since I've done any weathering. I think the last thing I weathered was the Land Cruiser. So I've got this whole batch of products here and a new clean old white t-shirt. I think, well, let me go over what we got here. Everything I've got here is Vallejo brand. I've got 3 different washes. I have a black, a sepia, and a umber. So you got your rust, your dirt, and your grime, the way I look at it. Then I have the powders. These are weathering powders. This is what I've mainly used before. Then I have a binder for the powders. So it's basically just like a glue, and then you have all these different colored powders, and it once they get wet, they smear around almost like a paint, but they're not super adhesive, and they wipe off really easy. So we can get down in the cracks and the grooves of everything. Just got an old little cheap tester's paintbrush to use, and I've got some thinner to clean it when we need to. That's pretty much all I'm going to use on the interior. I'm probably not going to use the rust shades. I'm going to start with the black pigment and the pigment binder, and once we get some of that on, see how it looks, we might try some of the wash. I used one of the washes when I did the Land Rover, the D110, I'm sorry, when I did the seats on it, and that stuff dries a lot quicker, and I wasn't prepared on working with that, so the seats came out a little grungier than I meant. So I'm gonna hold off on those for now, and we're just gonna try to get some dirt down in the seats and in all the grooves, and add some depth to the dash, and try to darken up the floor, because we don't want our floorboards to be all shiny and brown where our shifter is and all that. So yeah, I'm gonna get set up here and we'll get started. Alright guys, I'm ready. Got the I'm gonna start on the seats. When I was working on the hood, I would get the powders first and kind of brush it in there, and really gets it dirty. And then I'd get the pigment binder, and then it kind of turns to almost like an ink. Just try to get it all in everywhere. I think I need to do it the other way for the interior though. Get the pigment binder in, get it all wet, and then smear the pigments through it. It's kind of scary to do that to a brand new painted part, but it's the name of the game. I'm going to go ahead and, well, I got a bunch in the floorboard now too. Go ahead and hit the other seat. Now when you do this, like it's still smearing black because it's got some of the pigment on the brush, so you don't have to get quite as much. Thing moving around on me. Trying to get it down in the cracks, get it in the bottom, get it all over the seat. You don't want to miss any spots. I've got it pretty wet, so I'm not too worried about it drying real quick. When I did it before, I had a fan going on it, and that seemed to help speed up the process. So it's kind of cold. Hopefully it won't dry as fast. Hopefully you can still see this. I'm trying not to block it with my hand, but I can't see the camera from where I'm at. I did want to thank everybody. This K5 build, it's really got a lot more interest in my channel, and I had a lot of helpful advice and comments, and on Facebook as well. I don't have an official Facebook page, it's just kind of my own page, so it's been blowing up this past week or so, and everybody's been real positive about everything, and I really appreciate that. And I've had a lot of really good tips and tricks. People are sharing ideas, trying to help me figure out the servo placement on in the front of the K5, giving me advice, and it's pretty cool. It goes back to the whole RC community, and like I talked about before, why I like the YouTube platform so much, because I just get on there and show y'all the stupid ways I'm doing stuff, and then everybody can share their ideas, and we can all just build off of each other. And learned a lot, and I got to go back through the comments because I've gotten so many here recently that I'm trying to write down when I run across an idea that I really like, and I haven't been able to keep up with that because I've had to go back to work today, and so I got to go back through and try to find all these ideas, these great ideas that I've been given, so I can try to implement some of them. But yeah, I guess again I wanted to thank everybody for supporting the channel. Alright, got a really good, nice messy coat. I've done the floorboard tunnel. Now the trick is with this, when you wipe it, is to don't wipe too hard, and places I can't get, like between the seats, that's just going to stay the way it is. So that's kind of what helps add depth. So like the top of the console will be almost clean, but that crack around it, I'm not going to be able to get that with just a light brush of this clean t-shirt. So, it's still pretty runny. I'm going to let it set just a little bit longer. And, yeah, it's still pretty wet. Just go back in the same order I did it. I'll start with the passenger seat, and then I'll hit some of the floorboards and work our way back around. This isn't going to make the gloss go away, but this is going to change the way the seats look. It's going to add a layer of depth. And like you said, there's no wrong way to do this. Like there's a big old dark spot in the middle of the driver's seat. It would make sense. The driver's seat's more worn. Most cars they are. So I'm not worried about continuity. I don't need this one to look exactly like that one. This is supposed to mimic a natural wear and tear on, this is what, a 40-year-old vehicle. So I'm not trying to make it perfect and balanced. The armrest can be more worn on one side or the other. There's no right or wrong to it. Try a little area here. Yeah, I think I'm going to start wiping it now. Again, sorry if I can't get this all on camera. It's just very intrusive here. But what I was saying about the glossiness, we'll get that with the flat finish. I've got that ultra flat from the Rustall kit that I've had for a while, and we'll use that to dull it down. So that's looking pretty good. Again, with the shirt, don't reuse the same area. Cycle through different clean surfaces on it. Oh, my steering wheel glue didn't hold. Oh well, we can put that back in later. It's going to be in the way anyway when we do the dash. I get some of this on the side. I think I got it a little too runny this time. Get some of that down here. It's hard to get up in here with your shirt. And I'm not trying to take it all off of the flat surface. I'm trying just to, you can always add more. It's going to be hard to take it off later, so I'd rather take off too much now and then come back and add more later. So far, let me get the console here. That looks pretty good. A little bit here. We got a lot of dirt and grime down in the crack. There's probably a French fry or two. I was eating dinner on the way home from work tonight, and I got French fries all over my seats. Of course, I've got a newer pickup, so I'm still in that honeymoon phase with it, where I don't want to get food all over it. And also, you can get a different effect by blotting it. That's kind of leaving a neat finish. I'm not going to rub too hard on the back of the seats because there's not much for the powders to go onto, so I'm going to leave them pretty dirty, and we'll just let it dry like that because we're not going to get much detail back there, and that's going to be a very visible point when you have the top off. I need to get up in there more. I think I'm gonna have to come back and do more on the floorboard because it, like I said, on the back there's nothing for it to cling to. There's no cracks or anything except around the edge of the seats. So we will come back and try to do some more on there. But right now it's kind of get the big wet spots up. Yeah, I was worried that steering wheel wouldn't hold. It's like it's not a 70s or 80s Chevy without a Grant steering wheel. And this looks like the old Grant steering wheels you used to get at Pep Boys. It's a cheap, it's $50 special. You buy the $40 adapter so you can put it in your truck. Remember when I was a kid going to Pep Boys with my dad, I always wanted one for whatever car I ended up with. Never got one though. So far the seats are looking pretty good. I'm not sure if it's coming out. Let me set it down so I can focus you in here. Definitely looks a lot better than the glossy. That color almost looked like a toy. It looked like something would be in a Walmart crawler. And you can see some of the detail that we're getting in here. If this camera, I promise guys, I'm gonna get me a GoPro here. Hopefully income tax time. I'm using a Nikon D7000. I got it when I was doing storm chasing. It's a real nice DSLR. Also shoots HD video. And the poor thing is tired. I think this is somewhere around 170 on my video count. I just used it because that's what I had. But I think I'm going to pause for a minute and let this dry a little bit longer. And then we'll come back and look at the floorboards again. Alright guys, I went ahead and did another coat, and I wiped it too soon, so I went really heavy. I'm trying to get it to stay. It keeps trying to wipe out. The backs are looking good. I've got I just dabbed the cloth on here. It kind of gives you a little bit of a texture, even though it's perfectly smooth. The fronts, I'm trying to get more in the cracks. Looks like crap, but I can't get that out of the crack of the seat now. So, hit a little heavier on the driver's side this time, just to, like I said, there's going to be more wear on the driver's seat of a vehicle this old anyway. Looks like we're finally getting it in the cracks more. Try not to take too much, but we can always come back and add more. It's looking pretty good. I think I'm going to stop on my head. Get a little bit on the front. I need to dab the floorboards, and it's hard to get in there. Hope you can see any of this. Sorry guys. Trying to see and trying to film and trying to create all at the same time. It's actually easier with music. I was listening to some old school Offspring. Kind of gets the tempo set. You start going to town on it. That's looking pretty good. I got the floor still. Try not to take too much off the floor because it just doesn't want to stick down there because it's so smooth. Alright, quit while we're ahead. Let me get you a better look here of where we're at. I'm pretty excited about doing the dash. I like the way the powders take to dashes. That Land Cruiser dash was one of my favorite things I've done, along with the door panels. They came out amazing. I was really impressed with myself. So that driver's seat's pretty mucky. I may run in, well, here's a dry brush. See if I can get some of that out with a paintbrush. Kind of just a little too much in there. Oh, well, we can spread it up. Just trying to coax some of this out. Still got a lot of stuff built up in there. Alright. It looks if anything, it added, you can see a bit more of the shape as it's shaded. It's like coloring and, or coloring, drawing in grays, in the grayscale. You add, you know, it's darker in the shaded sections to help show contours. So I think it looks pretty good. Check out our console. Get that glare off there for you. Yeah, don't want too much. I like the top being pretty clean, so it looks like it's worn down and smooth. Floorboards just enough to not look new. They don't look that great, but there's not much I can do with it because I can't really get in there. Seat backs are just a little dirty. Let me zoom you out maybe. Almost looks like a marble finish. Alright, so let's move on to the dash. I get my camera in here. Alright, now when I did the cruiser dash, I just non-discriminately covered everything in black. And that worked really well. You just smear it all on over gauges, over everything, and then you wipe off what you can get to. And everything else left is where it should be. Alright, so I had this tire under here trying to hold this thing up. Except now see, let me mess with the camera here a minute, see if I can't get you a better angle. There we go, got you a little more out of my way so I can work. Alright, now if I can just keep my arm out from in front of the camera. You get pretty heavy on the pigment. I'm just going to start on the binder. It's still got a lot of pigment in the brush itself, so I haven't even added any to the dash yet. Trying to get every surface. I'm going to get in that stainless looking trim. I got to get it on the bottom. Well, let's just get a little more binder, see how much pigment we got left. Oh yeah. And we may not even have to put any actual pigment on here. Now the rougher your finish, the better this stuff will stick. This paint came out so smooth, it's going to give us a little bit of trouble, just like the seats did. Get it all in there and everything. Now when you got, like, this is coated in pigment binder, you don't want to go stick the brush in the pigment and just smear it on there, because then you're going to get way too much and you're not going to be happy. And the key is not to wipe it completely off. You just want to lightly smear it, take off the high points. That's our objective, is just to remove the grime from the pigment from the highest points. It's a little tricky on top of the dash because it's all flat, so we'll come back. It's still pretty wet. We'll let that set for a minute. I'm going to go ahead and hit, I need a smaller t-shirt, getting these small little spaces. Let it dry just a bit longer because it's so runny. Check it on the side, see how we're looking. It's not bad. Looks like we're getting a little too much off of it. Go back to dabbing. Don't forget the underside. I know you're definitely not going to be able to see that with the body on, but at least want to dab some of that off of there. And dab the top. Just dab the whole thing. Shit. Get some of this stuff out of the way. I keep pulling it off the edge of my table. The underside over here. Alright, I'm not liking the brown part. It looks a little, I don't know, looks a little too homemade, so Let me give it a good wipe. There we go. Let's get some smears going on here. A little off the yellow. Now we're cooking. I really need a Q-tip. I have to run all the way across the house. If I can't get that in there and just wipe. Worked a little bit. Alright, it's not looking bad at all. Take a little more off the top, like I'm giving a haircut. Alright, let's see if I can show you better. You're on it pretty good. That vent there, the stainless trim there, looks awesome. I'm really happy with that. I was hoping that would, well, can't see it from there. It would add a little more detail to that trim piece. It almost makes it look like it's got a curved front. Didn't do a whole lot to the gauge. I think I'm going to hit that again. I got some on the yellow, but I didn't get the gauge bezel very well. Bezel, wherever you're from. I'm going to get just a tiny little bit of powder. Just need to dull that shiny stuff down a little bit down there. Okay, we're a lot. Get around that steering column. I'm gonna let this one set just a bit longer. I'm happy with the passenger side. I think the top looks alright. It's still pretty wet. I'm gonna add a little bit more direction to it. I wiped it from side to side, and it didn't look as natural as this is looking. Ooh, oh, okay. Just smeared a bunch off the front of the dash. On the side. Not sure how much of the side of the dash you're going to see. Hopefully none. It should be pretty well tucked behind the door. A little bit too much right there. Sorry, this has got to be real exciting to watch. Watching paint dry. Live in HD. Let's see. Yeah, I need to get in there a little better. Got some unwanted right here. There we go. Alright. Start kind of at the bottom, see what we get. So I got more down there. There we go. Still too much at the bottom, but I'm afraid I'm going to break my shifters off my steering column. In hindsight, I probably shouldn't have put that on yet, but too late. I was too excited to put that other steering wheel on. Alright, got a little more in there. Still not really getting in around the gauges. I'm going to try to really get in there. I haven't had any problem with these decals. When I did the Cruiser, they didn't try to come out or anything. So these decals are nice thick material, and it did come with 2 sets for some reason, which, you know, more is better, I guess. In case I screwed up one set so bad. You got a spare. Alright, I'm just about finished with this. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get much more detail out of that. That's about as close as I can get you zoomed in. I can get a little more light on it. It's not amazing. It didn't come out as good as the Cruiser, but that the passenger side piece looks pretty good. I'm really excited about that. So I'm gonna let this dry for a minute, and then we'll come back and take a better look. Alright guys, it's mostly dry. Got you focused in here on the seat backs. That pigment binder, I'm guessing, is the same or close to the flat finish that I have from my Rustall kit that I bought a while ago, because it really dulled everything down now that it's drying. It helped add that vinyl leather look to it. I'm trying to read on the things here, but it's got like 15 million different languages. It says water-based acrylic binder for pigments. Dries slowly, allows more time to manipulate pigment. Matte finish. So that's what we're after. The matte finish. It looks like some of it's separated in the bottom. I was told before when I was doing my weathering stuff that all this pigment binder is watered down Elmer's glue. And I believe I used all of my Rustall stuff, and I have half a bottle here, and I think I made some out of Elmer's glue. Because that's really all you need is something to hold the pigments to the material. And it would make sense you would use a glue. You just water it down so it runs into the cracks and crannies of whatever it is that you're trying to weather. So, but yeah, those look pretty flat. I'm not gonna mess with it anymore. I still got a little bit of wet up here in the floorboard. If I can get you some more light. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, like I said, you're not gonna see a whole lot of this inside this body. There's not much interior. Yeah, you see the seat backs, but that's about it. Now, this is a close to an original color that was available in the 70s. I was looking online, and it wouldn't be uncommon for this brown to be in this kind of yellow white two-tone finish. This is more like the premium interior. The actual seat design was different. It didn't just have plain lines in it. It had they're actually really nice looking. They look like something you'd find in a muscle car, but they're in this brown vinyl. They have like I'm not gonna say paisley, but some kind of print like that embossed into the vinyl. And it had the door panels that matched, and the dash and stuff was like this with the top half. So it's not too far removed from a real interior. The console's similar, you know. In real 3D, it would be taller and you'd have more deeper floors, but yeah, it's pretty close to an accurate interior. The floor shifter bothers me that it's right in the center. It would not be in the center. It would be closer to the driver's leg, because that's where your range selector would be. And it doesn't look anything like the original one. The original one was a little bit smaller, a little bit lower, angled forward more, and it had a little color lit. Well, I don't know if the 70s had a lit indicator on it showing you what range you were in for your four-wheel drive. I think that was something they added in the 80s. I was watching some videos about the Blazers. Unfortunately, that's probably all we got time to do tonight. I'd like to get this body done to match. I still have to finish assembling it. I've got to put on, that's the way I like to do it. Before I weather, I go ahead and put everything on the body. Mirrors, chrome bumpers, handles. I still haven't decided if I'm going to put the glass in yet. I've done the topper. I may hold off on that. And I'm going to weather the crap out of this thing. The grill is another particularly pain in the butt areas on this truck. Is to get in all those, and you can see the shading. It looks like it's black inside there, but it's not. It's all chrome, and not going to cut all those little things out. So we'll have to do some type of wash on that, and then I've even seen it done with spray paint. I'm not sure I want to take my new grill to black spray paint and then try to wipe it, because there's too many other places it doesn't need to be right there. So I'll probably end up using a pigment or something like that I can control a lot easier, and we'll just smear it all in there and take a rag across the top of it, clean off the chrome grill, and leave the rest of it to dry. So it's really not hard, it's just kind of scary, but that'll have to be another time. But anyways, let me know what y'all think. I know it's not amazing, but that's how I do it. And like I've said before, there's not really a wrong way to do this. and whatever you can do that with what you have that gets the look that you want, then that's the right way to do it. But I appreciate everybody's help and suggestions and everything. So y'all stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching.